you've seen this headline, Oprah leaving the Weight Watchers board of directors, announcing she is using a weight loss drug. You know, the ones that we're talking about, Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound. And before you say the drug companies are buying her allegiance, consider this. Oprah never said which drug she is taking, which company is getting her money. That could change, but the point isn't which drug she endorses. It's that she's endorsing the drugs at all. Oprah is one of a kind, we know that, right? But for years of her life, she battled something quite common, obesity.
I couldn't work out anymore. I mean, like I can't climb any faster or run any faster. I can't, I'm eating, that was down to eating one meal a day. I can't, there's nothing else I can do. So if whatever works for you, I think one of the reasons I wanted to do it is that I let people make their own choices.
Millions of people can relate to that, right? 31% of Americans are overweight, 42% are obese. That can lead to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, sleep apnea, even some cancers. We often think of it as a condition, but Oprah wants us to think of it as a disease.
People understand obesity is a disease, and so stop blaming yourself for something that's in your brain. Stop shaming yourself and other people for that.
She's been saying this a lot this week after a primetime special on ABC. And you know, it is a disease. The American Medical Association declared it so in 2013. The CDC and NIH both recognize obesity as a disease. It's an important distinction, right? It means sheer willpower won't always be enough to treat it. Enter the popular drugs. A Pew Research study found 3/4 of Americans have heard a lot or a little about Ozempic, Wegovy, and other similar drugs. But you don't need to study to know that they are popular, right? You just look at the stock market. Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk have seen huge gains over the last 2 years. You see those bar graphs right there? Both pharmaceutical companies have successful weight loss drugs. These drugs are only going to get more popular, especially with Oprah on board. I spoke to a UNC pharmacy professor about the Oprah Effect, the money, and the future of weight loss drugs.
Dr. Ferrari, thanks for chatting with me about this topic that it seems is now, if it wasn't already very much everywhere, it really is now with Oprah Winfrey talking about it so freely.
Yeah, I think what Oprah Winfrey has done is she has really elevated or brought to awareness that obesity is a chronic medical condition. What this does is it allows conversation. I think what it allows patients to see themselves in Oprah's story that, oh, I'm struggling just like she is, and empowers them to begin a conversation with their doctors or with their pharmacist about what can they do regarding their obesity journey. And is this medication or are these medications a good fit for them?
What about on a macro level, as we see a huge windfall come to these pharmaceutical manufacturers, to the insurance industry, these frankly, these industries that are, for many people, disliked because of how much profit they make off of these drugs?
Yeah, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And these medications, when they have the power behind a powerful celebrity like Oprah Winfrey touting its success for her, there's going to be a lot of people who will want to try it. And the industry loves when they get those powerful celebrities behind them because it increases their profit margins. And that's why I think you need to go into it thinking about as it's just one part of the equation. It's not a magic pill. It's not a magic medication. And knowing that we have a medication that can help with reduce those health risks and reduce obesity, I think that's something that we as a country and politically, need to think through. Are we willing to pay for prevention, or are we only willing to pay for treatment? And our country right now is not typically funded through a prevention healthcare mechanism. We are funded through a treatment healthcare mechanism.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time.
You know, it's not just money that you have to consider in the long term. There are still questions about whether people could become over-reliant on obesity drugs. Another UNC professor told CNBC, "I am a firm believer that persons with obesity should really have a lifestyle-based program. The research, however, is scant at best. With the combination of lifestyle plus these newer medications, we certainly need more to understand these gaps in the science." One thing we know for sure: more people are going to want these drugs. Just listen to what an obesity medicine physician told Lena Tillett during an episode of On the Record last month.
Experts believe that this class of drug is going to be the most prescribed drug in the history of medicine.
You can watch that OTR episode right now. Just go to WRAL.com and search On the Record. So what we learned this week: more studies, more considerations about cost and insurance. There's more work to do here, and Oprah Winfrey's star power may have just opened the floodgates to that work.